All right, so without any new introductions, this is Sterling. He's the guy that this car all to pieces.
Way to go, dude.
You can bleep it out.
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
That's why I'm on this side
Sterling
today.
lasted longer in the dunes in this thing than you did before I got to cut something.
I challenge that.
Though. Not
I
very
challenge
much longer,
that.
though. Not much longer. I can assure you of that.
All right, so last weekend, right?
Last
weekend, Sterling takes this out to Dumont, and he lasts how long before all this happens?
Well,
give us a little bit of a story.
Not as long as I would have liked. Story of my life.
Right?
We go out to go ride. We make it literally. If I say 4 minutes, that's
like that's conservative.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's me being pretty generous. You know.
Okay.
Just honestly, just kind of misread the transition. The front end came over when the back hit. It shifted the car to the driver's side, the rear end of the car to the driver's side, and then it went almost square at the top of the lip. Gotcha. Right. So it bucked the back of the car up. Came down pretty nose heavy. When it came down nose heavy, it broke a ball joint. The passenger lower ball joint broke.
So do you think that led to anything at all?
I do. I definitely think that
Okay.
contributed to the rollover.
Rather than like being able to maybe roll out of it real hard.
Correct. It still would have sucked even without the broken ball joint,
Sure.
but I don't know if it would have actually tumbled.
Okay.
So it tumbled, judging by.
Now are we talking side tumble?
It was end over end. Yeah, it was end over end. Looking at the
So
indents
bad.
in the sand, we think it was 3.5. 3.5 times end over end. And it landed on the driver's side.
And then you on your side.
Right. And at that point, like, there's a lot of adrenaline going. I'm gonna be honest, like, it came over.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was that bad. Like, I knew that the window was broken.
You're hop out. Let's push this over and keep going.
That's exactly it. I do remember the first thing once it stopped. The first thing out of my, like, in my head, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, we haven't even started riding."
Hey, at least he lasted like another 4 minutes until it came out.
And
He's got 4 minutes in him.
So I'm sitting there. I felt like as soon as the car stopped rolling, here comes Greg over the top. "You live in there?" And, like, yeah, dude, I'm fine. So I get out of the harness and I climb out of the windshield because there's, I mean, Bluetooth window, you know?
Yeah, Bluetooth window.
Bluetooth window. So I climb out of the
Is that
window.
extra?
Yeah.
Contact
It's
Revolution
$50.
for your Bluetooth
Yeah,
window.
if you need a Bluetooth window, we sell them. They're on sale.
Free with every rollover.
Yeah, free with every rollover. Yes. In my head, I'm like, we're just gonna push this thing back over, put some air in a couple of tires, and be back on track, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then we start looking at the car, and it's like, well, maybe not,
Yeah.
you know. There's a broken wheel.
As you guys can see.
Yeah. As much sense as it would make to.
So here's a piece
Didn't.
that
Yeah,
was on the
one-
car.
Yeah, even though I'm sure you thought we did, we didn't have this one Rockzilla on here in the dunes. We swapped it to get this thing back in the trailer.
You
But,
should have seen us pull in. Like, I mean, this thing was crab walking
walked so bad.
into
It's
the
awesome.
shop.
It was super funny.
He's complaining because his arms are getting tired. So Scott's offering some help.
It's the cart to your cradle is what it is.
So the good news is Sterling's still here with us.
Not a
He's
ghost.
okay.
Not dead.
Not dead.
The car did its job, and ultimately he was safe and walked away from this thing.
How fast were you going? Just for shits and
That's a good
giggles.
question.
Probably 50.
That's fast.
So that's fast.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't super slow.
That's fast, not on wheels. Real fast.
It's fast in the air. Like
Yeah,
this,
it's
you know,
super fast.
super
Okay,
fast.
all right.
All right, so let's talk about the safety stuff first that
Yeah.
helped keep you safe.
So thankfully,
Less than
Oh
24
my
hours.
god.
yeah, thankfully we
Okay.
did put one of Lane's cages on it from Voodoo.
It's amazing you got it
Yeah,
done
literally
before
the
you
day
left.
The day before.
It looked so good for like 38 minutes, and then I drove it, and here we are. So first and foremost is the roll cage. I mean, obviously the roll cage played a huge part in keeping me safe. For how fast I was going and the amount of times this cage hit the ground, I don't know what would have happened with a stock cage, but I'm pretty glad I didn't find out.
Yeah.
So
if you
'cause I mean,
guys-
even with this one,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can see, I mean, we'll do some B-roll so Ryan doesn't have to go up. But, I mean, the roof is pretty crumpled in good. And as we've looked at it, we can see maybe one spot where the cage is slightly bowed.
yeah.
Um,
And this is
but, I mean, that is absolutely it. And so that's one of the reasons why We like going with Voodoo. They like going with Voodoo. His standard is 120 wall cages.
Exactly.
Which
is it's very well built.
Exactly.
And especially for this car, I mean, this is much heavier than your normal,
True.
Pro XP. The Pro R is quite a bit heavier.
True.
So for the cage to have, I mean, the very, very minor, deflection that it may have right there is fairly okay with me.
Right.
We were in California, we were at the dunes, so I mean, I had obviously the cage, I had a full helmet on, and then I was strapped into the car with the factory harnesses.
So let's talk about that real quick. So
Yeah.
a couple things. Why don't you hop in and show us real fast?
So there's a lot of headroom
Yeah.
in with this cage. Even with the helmet, I mean, there's a lot of room in here.
Right. I mean, you're 8-9 inches, something like that,
Tons of room.
of headroom above there.
Right.
There's plenty of room, right? And luckily he had a helmet on. But let's talk about the harnesses real fast.
So
Yeah. So
I definitely moved more than I would have liked to with the harnesses.
Are they the stock? So the
And
stock,
it's the stock
click 6 or whatever they are.
retractable harnesses.
Right.
Now, like I said, not
How's that
overly
gimbal
impressed.
working
I
for
mean,
you now?
You can see where
see
I'm
how
at
good
in
it
the
works
car. And you can see on the helmet where it hit in the roll cage. I mean, I hit over here on the helmet.
Which is
know what I mean?
obviously not what you want. So if you watch one of our first videos, we said how we kind of liked the retractable because when we're crawling, we can lean forward, look out the door.
It was
see
in
what the
lanes
tires
when we
do.
had Lane's car.
It is, yeah. So we
Like I
talked
found
about this
myself.
last time you and me went out. This is actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
Retractable stuff, and we kind of liked it. I mean,
It was nice for crawling
it's
because you can
convenient.
keep your harnesses on,
Right.
and you can still kind of move forward to look around. Whereas like an aftermarket harness that's fixed and
solid.
snug,
Right.
You're not being able to see. And the most important thing to do when you're crawling around is being able to see where your tires are going and
Right.
kind of what you're up against.
So, but even with 8 inches of clearance,
Yeah.
you actually
I
hit.
still moved enough to hit my helmet, for
Right.
sure. So
that's
I
crazy.
It is crazy.
did the Click 6 harness, was it better than a regular like automotive style seatbelt? 100%.
Sure.
Was it as good as a fixed harness? I don't believe so.
Okay.
So for me, I probably won't. I know I won't drive this again without fixed
A
harnesses
standard
in it. Yep.
fixed harness. Yeah. I actually like this. That was one of my, I don't want to say one of my favorite things, but good piece of information is a lot of people really like these and they love to keep them in there. They want to run them
Yeah.
or they even like try to put them in
they'll
their
switch
other
to it.
cars.
We
They'll
have guys
switch
that we
to it.
we build cages for, and they ask for tabs for stock harnesses.
Yes, absolutely.
Simply for that, so
And
they
so
can run
this
those
is
stock ones.
obviously a real world example of maybe how they, well, not maybe, of how they don't hold up as well in a wreck like this.
As you may think. If you have to buy harnesses for your machine anyway, or you do a lot of high speed, anything, I would recommend using a fixed style harness.
Okay.
And I'm sure that there's some other people that will disagree with that, but I wouldn't use it again.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
Cool. Let's talk about this glass in this windshield. So
Yeah.
automotive style glass, right? Tempered.
Yep.
Tempered glass. I think it's back here in the back, or it was.
Definitely broke.
So-
I got lucky and it went out.
Glass broke, but
It's all one piece.
all one piece. Didn't shatter. Didn't get in his eyes.
Exactly.
Didn't do whatever. So
Right.
Not at all.
all the Voodoo
one piece.
cages that we sell and that Revolution sells and that Lane makes all have this tempered automotive glass. So
Yep. If you get
you're not
it
going
with
to
the
get glass
window-
shards everywhere. So
Exactly. If you get it with a windshield, you get
Yep.
the automotive style glass that's just like what you're going to have in your pickup. So, and really the rest of the car, we kind of talked about how progressive the rollover was. I really think that in total, the car held up pretty well.
It did.
I mean, the Polaris has, kind of said that this is the strongest chassis they've ever built. And honestly, I tend to agree with it. I mean,
yeah,
the big thing that you notice out of the car is the rear end here.
yeah.
The trailing arm bent, the toe link bent, radius rods
rods.
bent. The
That's a
axle's got a
axle
pretty good bow to it.
Yeah.
We blew the center out of the.
Say the wheels
out of
didn't hold
Polaris
up well.
wheel there. I know. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of thinking about making a chain. Wear this thing around.
It's a Flava Flav.
Just a little piece of something, And I will
Like-
say we get guys in here all the time, and I'm sure you guys get people asking you too. Man, I just bought this machine, whether it's new or used. What should I do first? Should I do wheels? Should I do tires? Should I do a tuner?
Cage.
No, roll cage. Safety first. I promise you. We
Dude.
do a ton of insurance work here. We get cars in here all the time that are wrecked, and the stock cages just do not hold. So as far as damage goes, obviously we got the rear end here. We touched every piece of plastic around this thing.
She's hammered.
This shock may have a little bit of a bend in it. We're going to start taking the car apart this next week. And then in the front, again, we had a ball joint break, and then we've got like one bent tie rod. So, and it pushed hard enough. It did bend the radiator back right here. We do have a little bit of a bend in this tab, and this chassis tab that holds up the fascia.
That's not that bad though.
It's all
Really
cosmetics.
not that
though.
bad, exactly. Other than the couple of suspension parts, as far as making it drivable, it doesn't really need a whole lot.
Right.
You know.
I just turned it off.
And Royce, turn it back on.
It's on.
Happy birthday to Royce and Ryan.
Hey.
If you didn't know, today is Royce and Ryan's birthday.
Yeah, we have the same birthday. If you guys
One of
remember.
them's Mickey and one of them's Minnie. To do the outro?
Man,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll feed Eric.
No.
Wedding style.
No.
Royce, look. Everybody knows I'm Mickey. You're Minnie. Anyway, guys. Bottom line, end of the day. Look into a cage for your car. Please don't put that to chance, especially if you're rolling around here with kids and other people. Don't take other people's lives in your hands with the stock cages that we know they fail. And in an accident like this, Sterling may not be here with us today to be able to talk about this and tell the story if he hadn't done an aftermarket cage. That's in all seriousness. Number two, take a chance to share this video with everybody that you know that has a car, that drives a car, that rides in a car, and just understand what you're getting into when you get into one of these machines. They are high horsepower, they are fast, they are dangerous, and if at any chance you can avoid serious injury or putting someone in a crappy place where they could get hurt, like take all the precautions that you can so that
You,
nobody gets
your
hurt. You're the
friends,
driver, you're in charge of everybody in this
your
car.
family,
so
anybody.
Make sure your car's safe. Number three, like, share, subscribe. For those of you guys donating on Patreon, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Everybody supporting us, like, comments, and all that good stuff. Don't be a jerk, like Royce says. And just have a good time. Be safe out there.
How's that cake, dude?
I'm going to tell you.
Try it. It looks good.
Do I need a slow roll?
It's
I
got.
think you one bite that whole thing.
Think I can?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Minnie
Get that
wouldn't
ring out of
mind,
there.
But Mickey might.
Happy birthday.
Oh hell!
That was perfect.
I think that's a good ending.
That
right
was
there.
a good ending. I like it.
You gonna be all right? Yeah.
Gonna flop that whole thing out onto the floor.